Lena stood alone near the crash site, her boots sinking slightly into the wet grass. Smoke curled into the evening sky from the wrecked alien ship. The air smelled like burning metal and ozone. Everyone else had run away, scared of what might be inside. But Lena couldn't leave. She had seen movement, a small figure crawling from the flames. Her heart beat faster. Carefully, she stepped closer. Her gun was ready, but she didn't raise it. The alien was no bigger than a child. Its skin was pale blue, and its eyes, large and silver, blinked slowly. It was clearly in pain. Blood, thicker and darker than human blood, leaked from a wound in its side. Lena knelt beside it. "Can you hear me?" she asked softly. The alien looked at her, struggling to breathe. Then, with effort, it whispered two words. "They're coming." Before Lena could ask who was coming, the alien collapsed. Back at base, Lena faced angry commanders. "You broke protocol," one shouted. "You brought an unknown being into our territory." "He's just a child," Lena said firmly. "He was dying. I couldn't leave him." The alien, now lying in a medical pod, didn't move. Doctors tried to scan him, but his body blocked most of their machines. Strange energy pulsed from him, like he wasn't just alive, but somehow awake on a deeper level. News of the alien spread quickly. Some people were afraid. Others wanted to know more. Earth's leaders held emergency meetings. Was this a sign of an invasion? Or was the child a refugee? The question hung in the air like a storm cloud. Lena wasn't allowed to see the alien again, but she couldn't stop thinking about him. At night, she dreamed of stars falling, of strange voices speaking in her mind. She woke up sweating. Something deep inside her told her this was only the beginning. 3 nights later, something strange happened. The alien's body began to glow. A signal burst from his chest, an invisible wave that reached far beyond Earth's solar system. Scientists picked it up seconds later, confused by the code. It wasn't human. It wasn't any language they knew. But it was a message. And it had been sent to space. Someone had heard it. The next day, Earth's sky changed. Giant ships appeared in orbit, dark, silent, shaped like knives. They didn't send a message. They didn't respond to calls. They simply waited. Lena watched them on the screen, feeling cold. "They came for him," she whispered. The Global Council met again. Some wanted to return the alien child. Others said no, he was injured, and Earth had a duty to protect him. The debate grew heated. Then the alien woke up. He sat up in the pod, eyes glowing faintly. He looked straight into the camera recording him. One word echoed through the lab speakers. "Run." Panic broke out. Security rushed in thinking he was dangerous. But the alien didn't fight. He simply looked around like he was remembering something. Like he had been here before. That night, Lena broke into the lab. She found the alien sitting up, watching the stars through the glass. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know they'd come for you." He looked at her. "You were kind. No one is ever kind." She smiled sadly. "What happens now?" The alien was quiet for a long moment. Then he whispered, "If I live, they will come to destroy your world. If I die, they will come to avenge me. Either way, Earth burns." Lena felt her stomach drop. There has to be another way. He looked at her, truly seeing her for the first time. There is, but it begins with truth. Before Lena could ask what he meant, alarms began to scream. Above them, one of the alien ships began to move, heading toward Earth's moon base. Lena looked up at the screen. She knew it in her bones. This was not a visit. It was a warning shot, and it had already started. In the silence that followed, Lena remembered the child's first words. "They're coming." But it wasn't just them. Now, Earth would come too. And it would come with fire. Lena stood near the window watching the skies above Earth. The alien ships were still there, dark, huge, and quiet. like ghosts made of metal. No one knew how many there were. Some said a dozen. Some said more were hiding behind the moon. The ships didn't speak, they didn't fire, but everyone felt the same thing: fear. Inside the Global Command Center, Earth's leaders argued. Some wanted to send a message. Others said to prepare for war. One general shouted, "We give them the alien boy and this ends." But others refused. "He came here hurt. He's just a child," they said. Lena stayed silent. She stood beside the alien Solari in the medical room. He no longer looked weak. His wounds were healing fast. Strange energy flowed through him like light under his skin. He sat up slowly and stared at the screen showing the enemy ships. "They will not leave," he said in a calm voice. "They only speak the language of control." Lena stepped closer. "What do they want?" "They want to erase me," Solari answered. "And you. You showed kindness. They hate that most of all." Before Lena could ask more, the ground shook. Alarms screamed. Lights flashed red. A message appeared on every screen, every phone, every satellite, every device around the world. The voice was cold and deep. It echoed in every language. "Return the child. You have one Earth Day. If you refuse, your world will burn." Everyone froze. Lena looked at Solari. "What do we do?" "You must decide what kind of people you are," he said. "Do you protect the weak, or hand them over to survive?" That night, Earth's governments held a vote. Some countries said yes, return him. Others said no. In the end, they chose to protect the alien child. It was the first time all of Earth's leaders agreed on something so fast, but they knew the enemy would not care. Lena was taken into a military meeting. "You found him," the commander said. "Tell us why they want him so badly." "I don't know," Lena said honestly. "He's not a weapon. He's a survivor." The commander frowned. "You better hope he's more than that, or we're all dead." 12 hours passed. Then it happened. One of the alien ships moved. It flew past Earth and fired on the moon base without warning. The blast tore through steel and stone. Over 100 people died. Survivors sent one final message. They didn't even land. They just erased us. Back on Earth, everyone was silent. The enemy had given its answer. Lena rushed to Solari. He sat still, eyes closed. A strange pattern of light glowed across his skin. When he opened his eyes, he said, "They will not stop. You must fight." Lena shook her head. "We're not ready. We can't match their power." "You don't need to match it," Solari said softly. "You need to remember who you are." The scientists ran tests on Solari. His energy levels were rising. They believed he was not just healing, he was unlocking something. Something old. Something hidden inside him. That night, Solari touched a metal panel on the wall. It lit up. Symbols appeared. Symbols no one had ever seen. One scientist gasped. "That's not human tech, it's older than Earth's history." "Where did you come from?" Lena whispered. Solari looked at her. "Not where. When." That night he spoke in his sleep. A camera caught his words. "The sky will crack, the sun will scream, but the fire must rise again." The next morning, Lena watched the news. All of Earth was preparing for war. Space forces launched ships. Defense grids powered up, but it felt like preparing a wooden boat to stop a tidal wave. Then something new happened. A second fleet of ships appeared, but these were not like the enemies. They were damaged, slower, older. Messages came quickly. These were small alien races who had fought the same enemy before. They had seen Solari's signal, and they had come to help. Hope returned, just a little. Lena stood with Solari as the Allied ships landed. "Did you know they would come?" Solari smiled faintly. "One act of mercy creates many more." But he looked at the sky again. His smile faded. "They will strike harder next time," he warned. You saved me. Now they want to destroy you. For it, Lena nodded. Let them come. Earth stands with you. High above them, the enemy ships shifted again. This time, they were not waiting. They were preparing to attack. The sky over Earth was no longer peaceful. The enemy ships hovered like dark clouds, blocking the stars. Earth was on high alert. Soldiers trained day and night. Space fleets stood ready. But everyone knew this war was not just about weapons. It was about a child. Solari. Lena walked through the underground base where Solari was kept. She hadn't slept in days. She kept thinking about his words, his power, his strange knowledge. Who was he really? Why did the enemy fear him so much? She stepped into the lab. Scientists were working around the clock. Solari sat in a glass room, calm and quiet, his silver eyes watching everything. Have the tests shown anything new? Lena asked. One of the scientists nodded. He's not like any alien we've ever studied. His body is full of old tech. It's like he was made. Made? Lena repeated. Not born, the scientist explained. Engineered. Designed for something. Lena looked through the glass at Solari. She remembered the first time she saw him. Bleeding and broken. He didn't seem like a weapon then. That night, Lena stayed behind when everyone left. She stood by the glass. Solari looked up at her. You want to know who I am? I need to know, she said softly. Solari stood. The lights flickered as he walked closer. I am not a child. Not really. My body is new, but my mind is ancient. Lena frowned. Ancient. I come from a race called the Eliari, he said. We lived long before humans reached the stars. We built great machines, we healed planets. But we made a mistake. Lena leaned in. What kind of mistake? We created weapons that could think for themselves, Solari said. One of them, Vorlak Prime, betrayed us. It destroyed our worlds. My people built me before the end. I was placed in a sleep pod, hidden, to wake only if the Vorlak ever returned. Lena's heart pounded. You were meant to stop them, Solari nodded, or to warn others. But I am not complete. My memories are broken. My power is locked. I must remember everything, or I will be useless. Suddenly, lights blinked red. An alert. A new energy signal was coming from the moon, under the surface. Lena and the scientists rushed to the control room. A satellite showed strange movement. The base had been destroyed, but now something was waking up beneath it. It's not theirs, Solari said, his voice calm. It's Eliari Tech, one of our vaults. A decision was made fast. A small Earth team with Solari would go to the moon and find out what was hidden. The ship landed near the crater. They moved carefully, watching the sky. Solari walked ahead like he already knew the way. Beneath the dust and stone, they found a sealed door covered in glowing symbols. Solari placed his hand on it. It opened. Inside was a chamber full of strange machines, lights, and a giant sphere floating in the center. The sphere lit up when Solari walked in. The room came alive. Symbols danced on the walls. A deep voice spoke, not through sound, but through their minds. Eliari memory core unlocked. Solari fell to his knees. His eyes glowed bright. Images flashed of planets, stars, great battles, and burning skies. When he stood again, he was changed. I remember now, he said. This weapon, this vault, it's a key to something we buried long ago. Lena looked around. What is it? A weapon that can destroy fleets, control gravity, bend time, he said. But it can also heal. It can grow life where there is none. Back on Earth, news of the vault spread. Some leaders were excited, others were afraid. If this boy controls weapons from an ancient race, how do we know he won't turn on us? He hasn't, Lena said. He's only helped. But what happens when the power is too much? A general asked. What happens if he changes? Lena didn't have an answer. That night, Solari stood alone under the stars. Lena joined him. "Do you trust yourself with this power?" she asked. Solari looked at her. "I don't know, but I trust you to stop me, if I become like them." The stars shimmered above them. Far away, the enemy ships began to move again. Solari whispered, "They know I found the vault. They're coming. Not just to kill me now, but to destroy Earth before I can rise." Lena stood tall beside him. "Then we fight together," she said. The war for Earth was no longer just about survival. It was about truth, power, and the forgotten past waking up. Earth was no longer waiting. The attack on the moon base and the discovery of the ancient vault had changed everything. Leaders across the planet agreed. The war had started and they had no choice but to fight back. Inside the underground command center, screens showed alien ships moving closer to Earth's orbit. The Vorlak had sent more vessels. They were not hiding anymore. They were preparing to strike hard. Lena stood with Solari on the observation deck. Earth's defense ships were launching into space, fast, small, and brave. Solari watched quietly, his silver eyes glowing faintly. "You taught us something," Lena said. "You reminded us who we are." Solari nodded. "Now we must remind them." The ancient vault on the moon had unlocked powerful technology, floating drones, energy shields, and weapons made of light and gravity. Earth scientists worked quickly, learning from the Eliari machines. They began placing this new tech into ships, armor, and satellites. Earth was still weaker than the Vorlak, but now it had something else: hope. At the same time, small alien ships from across the galaxy arrived. They were old and damaged, but each one carried survivors, races, that had escaped the Vorlak. They had seen Solari's signal. They had come to help. The leaders of Earth held a secret meeting with these alien allies. They formed a plan: strike first. Not a full war, but a small mission. A message. They would hit a Vorlak shipyard near a dead planet called Zarin 9. This place built many of the enemy's weapons. If Earth could destroy it, it would slow the war and show the galaxy that humans would not kneel. Lena was chosen to lead the mission. Solari insisted on going with her. Inside the ship, the crew prepared nervously. "This is crazy," one soldier said. "We're flying into the lion's mouth." "We're flying into its eye," Lena replied, "to show it we're not afraid." Solari sat in silence. He was changing. His body looked older. His voice sounded deeper. He still remembered who he was, but now more memories were returning. Memories of battles long gone, of stars breaking apart, of silence where life used to be. The ship jumped through space, and hours later, it arrived at Zarin 9. From a distance, it looked like a graveyard. Huge machines, broken moons, floating metal. But behind it all was a factory the size of a mountain, guarded by 3 Vorlak cruisers. Lena's crew went quiet. Then Solari touched the ship's control panel. "Give me control," he said. Just for a moment. The captain looked at Lena. She nodded. Solari's hands glowed. The ship's lights flickered. Then something incredible happened. The ship disappeared from radar. They were cloaked. "Eliari tech," Solari explained. "Now we move like ghosts." The mission began. Lena and her team landed on a small moon near the factory. Using Eliari drones, they slipped into the factory's core. The guards never saw them coming. Inside, they planted bombs made from Eliari crystals, small but powerful. Solari stood in the middle of the machine floor and touched a metal tower. The tower cracked. "This place is full of stolen tech," he said. "My people's weapons used for evil." "Let's destroy it," Lena said. They ran. As they escaped, the bombs exploded. The factory lit up in white fire. Vorlak ships turned toward the blast, but it was too late. Earth had hit them first. When Lena's ship jumped back to Earth, the news spread fast. Cheers rose across the planet. They had struck a real blow, but not everyone was happy. Some leaders feared revenge. "They'll come harder now," one general said. "We poked a sleeping dragon." "They were never sleeping," Lena said. They were just waiting for us to stay weak. Later that night, Solari stood outside the command center staring at the stars. Lena joined him. "You were amazing today," she said. Solari's voice was quiet. "I felt something, during the mission, the power growing inside me. It scares me." "You're still you," Lena said gently. "For now," he whispered. He looked at her. "But I also saw something else. A memory. There's a second vault, not on the moon, not even near Earth. It's hidden far away, in the ruins of my people." Lena frowned. "What's in it?" "A weapon so strong. It ended the Elyari," he said. "They locked it away so it could never wake again." "Then we leave it locked," Lena said quickly. Solari looked unsure. "But it might be the only thing that can stop the Vorlak." Completely. In the sky above them, a new signal appeared. A massive Vorlak fleet was moving toward Earth, bigger than anything before. The enemy had felt Earth's blow, and now they were coming to answer it. Solari's eyes glowed brighter. His voice echoed softly. "If we don't stop them there, Earth falls." Lena took a deep breath. "Then we go to the ruins. We find the vault. And we finish this." The war had changed. Now it was not just about defense. It was about finding the last weapon, before the wrong hands did. The stars around Earth no longer felt safe. The Vorlak were coming. Their massive fleet was already on its way. Huge ships that could block out sunlight, destroy entire cities in seconds. Earth had days left, but Solari remembered something. An old memory. A secret place far beyond Earth in the ruins of his ancient home. A second Elyari vault was hidden there. Inside it was a weapon powerful enough to stop the Vorlak forever, or destroy everything. Lena sat with the Earth Council. "We have to go," she said. "We can't win this war with just courage. We need that vault." Some leaders agreed. Others didn't. "What if the weapon kills us too?" one said. "What if it's worse than the Vorlak?" another asked. Lena stood. "If we don't try, Earth dies anyway," and so the mission was approved. Solari, Lena, and a small team left Earth in a fast ship, guided by Solari's memory. They passed dead stars, burned planets, and broken moons. After many days, they reached a quiet system. No light, no life, only silence. Solari spoke quietly. "This was once the Elyari capital, now it's dust." They landed on a cold, dark planet. The ground was cracked. Strange machines lay buried in ice. Statues of Elyari warriors stood half-broken in the wind. Lena looked around. "What happened here?" Solari walked slowly. "We tried to use the vault once to end the Vorlak, but it didn't go as planned. They found the vault deep under the surface, hidden in a cave made of black stone." Symbols lit up as Solari approached. The door opened with a soft hum. Inside, it was warm and bright. Lights floated in the air. The room was full of memory crystals, each one holding knowledge, images, voices from long ago. Solari picked up one and closed his eyes. Suddenly, the past rushed back. He saw his people, tall, wise, glowing with energy. He saw the Vorlak turning on them, consuming worlds. And then, he saw the weapon. It wasn't a bomb. It was a living mind, created by the Elyari, half machine, half thought. It could control gravity, space, even time itself. But it was unstable. When they used it, it began to think for itself. It decided to destroy both sides. That's why the Elyari locked it away. Solari dropped the crystal. His hands shook. "I remember now," he said. "This isn't just a weapon. It's a choice." Lena stepped forward. "What do you mean?" "If I connect with it," Solari explained, "I can control it, but only if I give up everything I am. I won't be Solari anymore. I'll become something else." Lena stared at him. "Then we find another way." "There may be no time," Solari whispered. Suddenly, alarms screamed on their ship. The Vorlak had found them. A scout ship appeared in the sky, firing at the planet. The team ran for cover. As blasts shook the ground, rocks fell, crystals cracked. Solari stood in front of the vault. "If I don't do this now," he said, "Earth dies." Lena grabbed his arm. "There has to be another way." Solari looked into her eyes. "Thank you for showing me mercy when I had nothing. That mercy lit a fire across the stars. Maybe that fire can end the darkness." Before she could stop him, Solari stepped into the vault's core. The light exploded. Energy shot into the sky. The scout ship above was torn apart in seconds. The entire planet shook. The vault began to close. Lena screamed his name, but Solari was gone. The team escaped as the cave collapsed. The ship flew back into space, silent and cold. No one spoke. Back on Earth, the Vorlak fleet entered the system, but they stopped. Something was coming behind them. A new force, glowing, fast, powerful, struck the Vorlak ships like a storm. One by one, the enemy vessels fell. No weapons, no sound, just pure force bending space like paper. The Earth Council watched in shock. "What is that?" Lena stood with them, her eyes full of tears. "That's Solari," she whispered. "Or what's left of him." The battle ended quickly. The Vorlak fled. Earth was saved, but Solari did not return. His voice echoed once across every screen, every radio, every ship. "The war is not over, but now you have a chance. Choose mercy. Choose unity. Choose to be better than us." Then he was gone. The sky was quiet again. Earth had survived, but the cost was high. Lena looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, Solari had become something else, a guardian, a force, a memory. The past had given them a warning. Now the future was in their hands. Earth was safe, for now. The Vorlak fleet had been destroyed. Solari, the boy who wasn't a boy, had given everything. His power, his memories, his identity, gone in a flash of light that shook the stars. He saved the planet, but he didn't come back. Everyone remembered his final words. Choose mercy. Choose unity. Choose to be better than us. But peace was never simple. Weeks passed. People returned to their lives. Cities rebuilt. Leaders called it a new age, the age of Solari. Statues were raised. Songs were written. But inside the command centers, behind closed doors, something else was happening. The Eliari technology left behind, especially from the moon vault, was now being studied faster than ever. Weapons were being built, ships upgraded, drones programmed, for war. Lena watched all this with a heavy heart. She had fought to save Earth. She had watched Solari sacrifice himself for peace. But now she saw the world heading down a dark path. One evening, she met with General Voss, the highest-ranking military officer. His face was sharp, his voice calm. "We need to be ready," he told her. "The Vorlak will return." "But Solari stopped them," Lena replied. "He gave us a chance to build peace." Voss leaned forward. "And we'll keep that peace, with power. No one dares attack a strong world." Lena shook her head. "That's not what he wanted." Voss stood. "Then maybe he was wrong." Lena left, angry and afraid. She walked past the new labs, the secret chambers where Eliari machines glowed like sleeping beasts. She remembered Solari's words. He didn't die so Earth could become another empire. She needed to stop this, before it was too late. That night, as Lena looked up at the stars, a message arrived, a signal from deep space. Only one word came through clearly: help. Lena brought it to the council. Some believed it was a trap. Others thought it was from survivors, maybe from another planet attacked by the Vorlak. But the signal carried something else too. A faint energy reading, Eliari tech. That changed everything. A team was formed. Lena was chosen to lead again. The mission was simple: follow the signal, find the source, and learn the truth. Maybe it was another vault. Maybe someone had survived. Maybe Solari? Hope returned. The ship flew across galaxies. Days turned into weeks. At last, they reached the source, a lonely planet covered in black storms. The crew landed carefully. No cities, no light. Just broken stone and wind, but deep below the surface, they found it. A small chamber. Inside, an old Eliari beacon still glowed. Near it, a recording played, a face made of light. It was Solari, not alive, not fully. A memory left behind. If you're seeing this, his voice said, then you chose to follow peace, or you chose to chase power. I left this message for both paths. The image flickered. I became something else. I watch from the edge of thought, protecting what I can. But I cannot return. I am not human. I am not Eliari. I am the cost. The message ended. Lena sat in silence. He wasn't coming back. Not truly, but he had left them a warning. The team returned to Earth. The council listened carefully. This time, more people agreed with Lena. We should slow down. Use the Eliari tech for healing, not war. General Voss was not happy. So, we sit and wait to be attacked again? Lena looked at him. No. We prepare, but we do not become what we feared. A vote was held, and for the first time, peace won. Earth began to change. The Eliari tech was shared, not just with soldiers, but with doctors, engineers, builders. Diseases were cured, cities floated in the sky, crops grew on deserts. The world became brighter. Lena visited the vault on the moon, now a place of learning. Children came to study. Alien races came in peace. The galaxy began to notice. Earth had survived the fire and chosen kindness. But not everyone was happy. In the shadows of space, someone else watched. A broken Vorlak ship floated near a dark star. Inside it, a spark of life still burned. Damaged, angry, waiting. The war was not over, but Earth was ready. And above it all, in a place where time no longer moved, something bright watched in silence. Solari, he had become more than a boy, more than a weapon. He had become a guardian, and his story was not finished yet. Years passed. Earth changed. The sky was no longer filled with fear, but with ships carrying peace. Cities floated on air. Diseases became rare. Humans worked side by side with other alien races. The Eliari technology helped create a better world, just as Solari had hoped. But Lena never forgot the cost. She still remembered his face, the boy with silver eyes who had risked everything. His sacrifice was not just for Earth, it was for the galaxy. And now that galaxy was watching Earth closely. Then one day, everything changed again. A strange ship appeared at the edge of the solar system. It was not Vorlak. It was something else, ancient, silent, covered in glowing marks. Earth sent a message. The ship didn't answer. It just waited. Lena, now a global peace ambassador, was called back into duty. She studied the ship's shape. It looked familiar. Eliari, but older than anything they had ever found. And inside the ship's energy core, there was something even stranger. A heartbeat. Is it Solari? The council asked. No, Lena whispered. But it's connected to him. A small team was sent to board the ship. Lena led them. Inside, the walls glowed softly. Symbols lit up as they passed. The ship felt alive. At its center was a room filled with light. And in the middle of that room stood a figure. Not Solari, but a child. Not human. Not Eliari. Both. He opened his eyes, glowing silver and blue. You came, he said. Lena stepped forward. Who are you? I am the light seed, the child said. The final gift of Solari, he explained. When Solari merged with the ancient vault, his body was lost, but not his spirit. Part of him remained in the stars, watching. And one day, His energy found a dying star and shaped this ship. Then he created the light seed, a being born from peace, not war. The child looked at Lena. He remembered you. Your kindness, your strength. He wanted someone to carry on the light, not just to protect him, but to guide. Lena felt her eyes fill with tears. Solari had not returned. But his dream had. Suddenly, alarms rang across the ship. A fleet was approaching. Vorlak. Not broken, not hiding, stronger. The old enemy had returned, and this time, they were not coming to conquer Earth. They were coming to erase the memory of Solari. Earth's forces prepared. The Council begged allies for help. But the Vorlak fleet was huge, burning through space like a storm. Lena stood with the light seed aboard the ancient ship. We can't stop them alone. You won't be alone, he said. Solari's spark still lives, in all those who choose hope. At that moment, something incredible happened. From across the galaxy, ships arrived, small, big, human, alien, survivors Solari once saved, races Earth had helped. All answering a single call, not to fight for land, but to protect the light. The final battle began above Earth, bright and terrible, but different. This was not a war of fear. It was a stand of courage. Lena fought bravely, leading her ship into the heart of the enemy fleet. Around her, Earth's allies worked together, sharing technology, shielding each other, refusing to back down. In the middle of it all, the light seed stood on the deck of his ancient ship. He raised his hand. Light burst from the vessel, not as a weapon, but as a wave of memory. The Vorlak ship stopped. Their minds were filled with visions, Solari's memories. His kindness, his sacrifice, his pain, and his choice. Some ships turned and fled, others powered down. The war ended without fire. The light seed collapsed. Lena caught him in her arms. I'm sorry, he said softly. I was only meant for this moment. Lena smiled through tears. You were enough. He looked at her one last time. Thank you for showing mercy. And then he was gone. His light faded into the sky, spreading across the stars. Peace returned. True peace. Not from fear, not from power, but from understanding. Years later, Lena walked in a quiet garden on the moon. Children laughed nearby. One of them pointed to the stars. Is it true? The child asked. Was there really a boy made of light? Lena nodded. Yes. And he changed everything. The child looked up, eyes wide. Will he ever come back? Lena smiled. No, but he never left. Above them, the stars shone brighter. And in every corner of the galaxy, wherever someone chose kindness, over cruelty, courage over fear, unity over hate, a light still burned. The light of Solari, the light that never dies.